Paul, I wanted to get those couple things out there because I wanted to get your thoughts on these moves the Steelers made today. What do you think about what we heard today? Go.
Well, I mean, I think the first thing is Juju Smith-Schuster. I mean, obviously, you talked about the wide receiver market. It's pretty clear, Josh, that teams just don't this year want to spend a lot of money on receivers.
I agree.
Unless you're an elite guy, you know, they're just not. They're not looking for those big contracts in free agency. I mean, nobody really got it, and so at the end of the day, for Juju Smith-Schuster, it made more sense to come back to the Steelers on a one-year deal, even though he had a couple of other one-year deals that he was offered that maybe were a little bit more money. It makes more sense if you're going to try and come back on a one-year prove-it deal to come back to a place where you're comfortable, you know the quarterback, you know the offense, and all that other stuff. That's probably your best chance of getting paid big time next year. As for Steven Nelson, it's a head-scratcher. I mean, to me, you already lost Mike Hilton. I'm not sure why you're going to shed another defensive back. I know Cam Sutton can play the outside, but now you have to replace Cam Sutton and Mike Hilton on the inside. So it just seems like it creates another hole that they have to fill. I don't like what they did. I mean, as far as Juju Smith-Schuster, it doesn't matter to me one way or the other. To me, he's really not that relevant other than people like to argue about him. I mean, he's a good player, but he's not a game changer. My thing is, I'm much more concerned about what's going on with the defense.
To your point, talking about the wide receiver market, the two biggest deals we've seen for wide receivers so far this offseason, Curtis Samuel got 3 years, $34 million from Washington, and then you have Corey Davis, who got 3 years, $37 million from the Jets. Those were both teams that had money to spend as far as cap space, and neither of those teams are very good. So if you're looking at it as far as those being the pinnacle, that should tell you where the market looks because it's not really that great. Also, to your point about Steven Nelson, I was kind of surprised because there was discussion about Steven Nelson, Joe Hayden. Would they keep both guys? The thing that sticks out to me, Paul, Steven Nelson's a few years younger, and he's had a lot less injury problem than Joe Hayden has in the past couple seasons.
Well, yeah, but I think the big thing with them is they believe that Joe Hayden is a better cover corner. Mm-hmm. I thought Steven Nelson, the one thing about him, we really didn't talk about him much over the last 2 years, but you know why? Because he did his job for the most part.
Right.
And he was a guy that did his job. And to me, when you have a player at that position that does his job, more often than not, I think they're valuable. I mean, I think that you got pass rushers, you've got corners and, guys that can cover, and you got offensive tackles. Those are the guys, to me, that are the most valuable, players other than a quarterback. And the Steelers basically let Hilton and Nelson go for nothing. That's, I guess, if you listen to Ed Bouchette's of the world, it sounds like they're going to get like a 7th rounder for him at the most, which is essentially nothing.
What we will do is we will take a break here. When we come back, I want to see how Paul's bracket is doing because a bunch of people's got busted today, mine included. A 15 knocks off of 2. We'll talk about the tournament when we come back. Stick around. And we'll take your phone calls, too.